My name is Sarah. I was only 17 when I first noticed something strange happening to my heart. It wasn't pain. It wasn't fear. It was something warm, confusing, and beautiful. I had always visited my best friend, Emma, almost every weekend. We had known each other since we were 5. We played with dolls, watched cartoons, and later cried over school drama together. Emma had an older brother. His name was Daniel. He was tall, quiet, and always polite. For years, I saw him like a background character. Just Emma's brother. But that changed. One afternoon, I arrived early at Emma's house. Emma wasn't home yet, but Daniel opened the door. He smiled and invited me in. He offered me tea. We sat in the kitchen. He asked about my school. I asked about his job. That conversation was simple. But something inside me shifted. I began to see Daniel differently. After that day, I noticed every time he walked into the room. I started asking Emma about him. I laughed louder when he was around. I chose my clothes more carefully when I visited their house. I started helping Emma with her chores just so I could stay longer. But something hurt me. Daniel didn't look at me the way I looked at him. He was kind, but distant. Once, I saw him walking in the park with another girl. They looked close. He seemed happy. I felt like someone had closed a door in my heart. I tried to forget. I focused on school. I stopped going to Emma's house for a while. But it was too hard. Emma called, asking if something was wrong. I said I was just busy. But I missed her. I missed Daniel. A few months later, Emma invited me to her birthday party. I didn't want to go, but I did. I wore a simple blue dress. When I entered the house, I saw Daniel. He looked at me for a long time. Then he smiled. It was different this time. That smile felt warmer. We talked that night. About life. About books. About dreams. He told me the girl he used to walk with was just a friend. Nothing more. I wanted to believe it, but part of me was afraid. Time passed. Daniel and I started texting. Then calling. Then going out for coffee. He was always kind, gentle, respectful. Slowly, my fear melted. I believed he saw me too. Years passed. I finished school. I got a small job in a local bookstore. Daniel started working full-time. He talked about his plans, his hopes. And one summer evening, he asked me if I wanted to be more than just a friend. My heart exploded with happiness. I said yes. A year later, we got married. Our wedding was small. Emma cried. My mother hugged me tightly. I felt like the happiest girl in the world. Daniel held my hand during the ceremony. We moved into a small apartment. Life felt perfect. But something changed. At first, it was small things. He would smile at his phone and hide the screen. He would mention that old friend again. The one I saw him walking with years ago. I asked if they still talked. He said no. But I saw her name once when his phone lit up. I didn't say anything. Then one evening, he came home late. He said he had a work meeting. But I had called his office. They said he left hours earlier. My mind started racing. I remembered the girl. Her laugh. Her walk. The way Daniel once looked at her. I wondered if he still loved her. I tried to ignore it. I tried to be calm. But inside, a storm was growing. I started checking his phone when he slept. I felt guilty, but I couldn't stop. I watched his eyes when he talked to me. I searched for signs. Signs that he was lying. Signs that he didn't love me anymore. He noticed my distance. He asked if something was wrong. I said no. But he knew. Weeks passed like this. Silent meals. Cold goodnights. I cried in the shower. He stayed late at work. We were two people in the same house, but far away from each other. One night, I found an old photo of him and that girl in a drawer. They were laughing. Holding hands. My hands shook. I couldn't breathe. But instead of accusing him, I wrote a letter. I told him everything. My fears. My pain. My doubts. I left the letter on his desk and went to my mother's house. He didn't call that night. The next morning, he came. With red eyes. He said he never stopped loving me. That the photo was old. That the messages were only friendly. That he didn't want to lose me. I didn't believe everything. But I wanted to. So, I asked for time. And we started therapy. Slowly, we learned to talk again. To trust. To heal. Now, after everything, I sit by the window and look at Daniel making coffee. He smiles at me. I smile back. The pain didn't break us. It taught us. And I still remember the first time I saw him offering me tea in Emma's kitchen, not knowing he would one day break and rebuild my heart. The days we spent together felt like a dream. My husband and I had a small but warm house. Every day, I woke up with a smile. Even though I sometimes thought about the past, I tried to leave it behind. But there was always a small thought in my mind. Like a quiet voice, always whispering, does he still think about her? He never talked about his old love. And I never asked. I didn't want to ruin things. I didn't want to feel insecure again. But some days, when I saw him being quiet or lost in thought, or when he spent too much time on his phone, something inside me started to worry. At first, I told myself I was overthinking. I said, he loves me. He chose me. Everything is okay. And for a while, it worked. I smiled, cooked meals for him, hugged him when he came home, and listened when he talked about work or life. We laughed together. We even made weekend plans and talked about maybe having children someday. It all felt normal. It felt safe. But little by little, I began noticing small things. He started coming home later than usual. He used to text me during the day, just to say he missed me. That stopped. When I asked how his day was, he gave short answers. Sometimes, he would smile, but it didn't reach his eyes. That smile, it felt empty. One night, I saw him staring at his phone with a strange look. He quickly put it away when I came close. I asked, "Is everything okay?" He nodded and said, "Just work." But I knew it wasn't just work. I started losing sleep. I kept thinking about that girl. The one he used to love. The one who once had his heart. Was he missing her? Was he talking to her again? I didn't want to become the kind of wife who checks her husband's phone or follows him. But the fear inside me was growing. I started comparing myself to her in my mind. Was she prettier? Smarter? Did he laugh more with her? Did he still love her in some secret place in his heart? I didn't tell anyone about how I was feeling. Not even my best friend. I smiled in front of everyone, but deep down, I was confused and scared. One afternoon, I decided to go for a walk alone. I needed time to think. I sat on a park bench and watched the leaves moving in the wind.